So today I want to tell you guys how I lost $33,000 in less than 24 hours. What's good, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I want to go over how I lost $33,000 in less than 24 hours. This was a big hit to me. I was super stressed out over the whole situation. So I want to tell you guys exactly how it happened, and I really want to talk about it mainly because I feel like this is something a lot of entrepreneurs don't do, especially in this space, whether it's YouTube or Instagram or really any social media. A lot of these entrepreneurs only want to post their highlights, the money they're making, the cars they're driving. They don't want to tell you guys the reality of being an entrepreneur. Anyone that's a true entrepreneur is going to face a lot of difficulties and a lot of challenges, especially when they're starting off. And this is something that I just felt like I should tell you guys because this is the reality of not only wholesaling real estate, but just being a business owner in general. So basically, my cold caller was making calls and she brought me in a lead that she thought was pretty hot. It was a hot deal, and when I gave the seller a call to make an offer, he told me he actually already sold it a day before I called him. So he already signed a contract with another wholesaler, I'm assuming, or investor, which was alright, you know, no big deal. I simply asked him, do you have any other properties that you may be looking to sell? Which is key, always ask that question. And he actually did. Right before he hung up, he was like, actually, I do have an 8-unit property that I'm looking to sell as well if you'd be interested. So I took down the address, looked into it a little bit, and in my eyes, I saw a lot of potential. So I met him the next day actually, and I looked at the property. It was in super great shape. He was only asking $200,000 and all units were actually occupied. So this was a super hot deal. I knew some of my buyers would want to hop in on it. So I ended up making him an offer for $187,000 and he took the offer. So I ended up sending the property out for $220,000 to my buyers, which means my fee on that would be literally $33,000, and within the first day of sending it out, I had buyers lined up to see the property. I was super excited. I was like, okay, this thing's a done deal. I'm making $33K, which you never want to do. You never want to assume that the deal's closed until it's actually closed, because stuff like this does happen all the time. But with that being said, I could only show a few serious buyers out of the whole list of buyers that wanted to see the property. A, because it's a lot to run all these buyers through every single unit, and B, the owner actually had to be there to show the properties, so he didn't want to have to keep coming out and show a ton of people. So I told him, listen, I'm just going to bring a few of my most serious buyers. They'll come out and look at the property, and I'm sure one of them is going to want to move forward. So the next day, I met all the buyers at the property. They all ran through it. The owner showed them all the units, and 2 of them called me right away, and they were like, listen, Justin, I'm super interested. How I go about it, if I have multiple buyers that want to take up a property, I always tell them, listen, give me your best and highest offer. I'm going to wait to hear back from everybody, and then I'm going to go with the person that offered me the highest. I never want to turn it into a bidding war between my buyers, simply because all of my buyers are repeat buyers and I have good relationships with them, and if they feel like they're always competing for a deal with other buyers, then they're just not going to want to do business with me. So I tell them it's one shot, give me the most you'd be willing to pay for it, and then I wait to hear back from everybody. And on this particular deal, I did have a buyer that I've never worked with before. This guy reached out to me and he said he heard about the deal from a guy in Home Depot. That's how hot this freaking deal was. And I did qualify him. He seemed like he was very serious and really wanted it, so I decided to let him come and see it as well. Now this is where everything went bad, guys. Basically, I had my one showing with all of my serious buyers. They all looked at the property. 2 of them didn't want it simply because it was legally a 7-unit property and there were 8 units being occupied, which could cause a red flag, especially if the property changes hands. Then next thing you know, the borough's on them and they have to convert it back, or they didn't want to deal with that. So they decided to back out. However, the other 2 buyers, they both wanted the property. So I told them both, listen, give me your best and highest offer and I'll make a decision by tonight. So I ended up hearing back from both of the buyers. The one buyer who was the new buyer that I told you about that I met from Home Depot, and the other buyer that I've actually dealt with before, and he's a repeat buyer, great guy. The repeat buyer made me an offer of $205,000 and the new buyer made me an offer for $200,000. So obviously it's not a big difference, but I ended up going with the buyer who offered more. So I had a verbal agreement with this buyer that the property's his. I told him, listen, it's all yours. I'll send you over an assignment contract and we'll get this thing going. He was super stoked. He really wanted it and he ended up getting the property. However, this is the issue, guys. When I called this new buyer and told him that I sold it, he got pissed off. He said, listen, you didn't tell me it was best and highest offer. I would have offered a lot more if I knew that this was just my first offer. I did disclose it to him, so it was fair in my eyes making a decision like that, but in his head, he thought I gypped him out of the property, and he thought I actually went with the other buyer only because I knew him. He said, listen, Justin, I'll pay $220,000 right now for the property, pay all closing costs, and I will buy it completely as is. Just let me get the property. Now in my head, I'm like, I literally just told this other guy the property's his, he's super hype about it, and now this guy's making me an offer for the asking price, which means I would have made $33,000. I was like literally ripping my hair out because I was like, $33,000, being a man of my word, and I decided to do the right thing in my eyes, which was stay with the buyer that I already had a verbal agreement for. Legally, I could have switched up on him completely and just went with the other buyer because there was no contract in place at that time. But in my eyes, I want to be a complete man of my word. Yes, $33,000 would have been nice, but at the end of the day, I did tell the other buyer it's his property, and I wanted to stay true to that. So although it sucked so much, I was like, oh my gosh, I just missed out on this much money. I was super stressed out about it. I was super like mad all day. I was in my head. But listen guys, I sat back. I decided, you know what? I'm gonna have to take this hit. It's alright though. More deals will come in the future. And if you have that abundance mindset and you're not, you know, worried about one deal, then you just look at situations like this as a learning experience. I mean, next time, I guess I'm gonna have to make it super clear it's best and highest. I don't know how you guys would go about it. I wanna hear your guys' opinion in the comment section. Would you totally switch up on this buyer and just secure the bag? Or would you be a man of your word and stay true to what you told him and give him the property, even though you're gonna be making a lot less? And the bright side of this whole story was I did reach out to the buyer that I told it was his, and I explained to him the whole situation exactly like I did to you guys. I said, listen, I just had another buyer offer full asking price, but I'm gonna give it to you because we already had a verbal agreement, and he really respected that. So we actually wrote up another contract. That way he will pay me an extra $7,000 on top of my fee already. So that's kind of where I'm at, guys. In my opinion, I think I did the right thing, and I'm gonna stay true to that. I just wanted to share that quick story with you guys because a lot of stuff will arise in your business and just in life as you're going through, and it's gonna be a hit, guys. It's gonna try to throw you off. I didn't really let it stop me. Yes, I was a little upset about it, but you know, I just completely changed my mind on the whole situation. Said I know like in my heart that I'm doing the right thing, and at the end of the day, I know I'm gonna make way more than $33,000 this year, so it's alright. I'll take the hit on this one, and next one I'll learn from it. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you want more videos like this where I just sit down and tell you guys a little story like that, please let me know in the comments down below. Go out there, secure the bag, guys, make that money, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. Peace!